You've been trying. You've been reading the gentle parenting books, following the Instagram accounts, working so hard to be calm and respectful with your children. But somehow, you're exhausted, you're losing control, and your kids seem more entitled and less cooperative than ever. What's going wrong? Here's the uncomfortable truth. Gentle parenting, as it's commonly practiced today, has 3 hidden dangers that most parents don't see until they're already burned out and struggling. And these dangers aren't talked about enough because admitting them feels like betraying the gentle parenting movement or going back to authoritarian, harsh discipline that none of us want. But I'm going to say it. The way most parents practice gentle parenting is failing families. Not because the core principles are wrong, but because critical pieces are missing or misunderstood. And those gaps are creating exhausted parents who feel like failures and entitled children who lack the structure they desperately need. In this video, I'm going to reveal the 3 hidden dangers of gentle parenting that almost no one talks about. These are the mistakes that are making gentle parenting feel impossible, exhausting, and ineffective. And more importantly, I'm going to show you how to practice gentle parenting in a way that actually works, where you maintain connection and respect while also having boundaries, cooperation, and children who can handle disappointment. But before we dive in, make sure you hit that subscribe button because we're going to challenge some popular parenting narratives today. And I want to make sure you don't miss the practical solutions that actually create calm, cooperative families. So let's start with what gentle parenting is supposed to be, because I think there's massive confusion about this. Gentle parenting at its core is about treating children with respect, seeing misbehavior as communication of unmet needs, connecting before correcting, and guiding rather than punishing. Those principles are solid. They're backed by attachment research and developmental psychology. But somewhere along the way, especially on social media, gentle parenting got distorted into something else entirely. It became permissive parenting dressed up in gentle language. It became parents who are afraid to set boundaries, who negotiate everything with their 3-year-old, who explain and explain and explain while their child continues the unwanted behavior, who are so focused on not damaging their child that they've completely lost their authority and confidence as parents. And here's what's happening in these families. Parents are exhausted, resentful, and feeling like failures. Children are anxious, entitled, and actually less secure because they don't have the structure and boundaries they need. And everyone is confused about why gentle parenting doesn't work when they're doing everything the Instagram posts tell them to do. The problem isn't gentle parenting. The problem is that 3 critical dangers have infiltrated how gentle parenting is practiced. And these dangers are sabotaging families while parents think they're doing the right thing. So let's unpack the first hidden danger of gentle parenting as it's commonly practiced. Parenting without boundaries. And I don't mean without any boundaries at all. Most gentle parents have some boundaries. I mean boundaries that are unclear, inconsistent, endlessly negotiable, or so focused on the child's feelings that the parent's needs and the family's needs completely disappear. Here's what this looks like in real life. Your child hits their sibling. You get down on their level. You validate their feelings. I can see you are frustrated. It's hard when your brother takes your toy. You explain why hitting hurts. You offer alternatives. Meanwhile, your other child is crying. Nothing has actually stopped the behavior. And you've spent 10 minutes in a gentle explanation while your child has learned that hitting leads to lots of calm parental attention and extended discussion. Or bedtime becomes a 2-hour negotiation every single night because you're responding to every request, every one more, every escalation with gentle patience while you're internally screaming and your own needs for evening time are completely ignored. Or your child refuses to get in the car seat, and you spend 20 minutes gently explaining why car seats are important, offering choices about which toy to bring, validating their desire for independence while you're late for an appointment and your nervous system is completely dysregulated because there's no actual boundary being held, just endless, gentle negotiation. Here's what's happening. Parents have conflated gentle with no firm boundaries. They believe that setting and enforcing clear limits is somehow harsh or authoritarian. They're so afraid of being the mean parent or damaging their child's spirit that they've abdicated their role as the leader in the parent-child relationship. But here's what the research actually shows. Children need clear, consistent boundaries to feel secure. When everything is negotiable, when limits shift based on how much the child protests, when parents are afraid to enforce boundaries because it might upset the child, this creates anxiety, not security. Think about it from the child's perspective. If they can push and eventually wear the parent down, their brain learns the boundaries aren't real. I'm actually in charge here, and I need to keep testing to find out where the real limits are. This is exhausting for the child and creates a dynamic where they're constantly testing rather than relaxing into the security of knowing the parent is in charge. Gentle parenting without firm boundaries isn't actually gentle, it's chaotic. And chaos is scary for children, even when the parent is using a calm voice and validating feelings throughout. So what does gentle parenting with clear boundaries actually look like? It means you can be respectful and kind while also being decisive and firm. You validate feelings while still holding the limit. I know you want to keep playing. It's hard to stop when you're having fun, and it's time for bed now. I'm going to help you get there. Notice the structure, acknowledge feelings, and hold the boundary. Not acknowledge feelings, therefore negotiate the boundary. The limit stands. You're empathetic about the disappointment while being clear that this is happening. It means you don't endlessly explain. One clear explanation is respectful. 5 explanations while your child continues the unwanted behavior is actually teaching them that your words don't mean anything. We don't hit. I'm going to move you away from your brother now. Then you follow through immediately, calmly, without anger, but also without hesitation. It means your needs matter too. Gentle parenting shouldn't mean the parent becomes a martyr whose needs are always sacrificed for the child's preferences. I've read 3 books. My body needs rest now. I'm turning off the light. I love you. Good night. Your need for evening time is legitimate, and teaching your child that other people's needs matter is actually a crucial life skill. The second hidden danger of gentle parenting is erasing yourself, becoming so child-centered that you lose your identity, your needs, your mental health, and ironically, your ability to be the calm, regulated parent that gentle parenting requires. Here's what this looks like. You're touched out, burned out, resentful, and running on empty, but you keep pushing yourself to respond gently to every need, every request, every demand. You have no time for yourself. Your relationship with your partner has become purely functional co-parenting. You've stopped doing anything that fills your cup because every moment is devoted to meeting your child's needs with patience and presence. And here's the cruel irony. The more depleted you become, the harder it is to actually practice gentle parenting. You snap at your kids. You feel guilty. You try harder to be gentle, which requires more energy you don't have. You become more depleted. The cycle continues. Gentle parenting content often makes this worse by showing idealized snippets. The calm parent kneeling at the child's level, speaking softly, unlimited patience, without showing the full reality. It doesn't show that parent later, after the kids are in bed, completely depleted and questioning whether they can sustain this level of emotional labor. There's an unspoken message in much of gentle parenting culture that suggests if you need breaks from your children, if you get frustrated, if you can't maintain infinite patience, you're doing it wrong. And that message is destroying parents, particularly mothers, who are already drowning in the impossible standards of modern parenthood. But here's the truth that needs to be said more. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot regulate your child's emotions when your own nervous system is completely dysregulated from chronic depletion. You cannot be patient and present when you're burned out and resentful. Taking care of yourself isn't a nice bonus when you have time. It's a prerequisite for sustainable gentle parenting. And teaching your children that you have needs, boundaries, and limits is actually good for them. It's modeling that all people deserve respect and care, not just children. So what does this look like practically? It means you take breaks even when your child protests. Mommy needs some quiet time. I'm going to my room for 20 minutes. You can play in your room or in the living room. I'll be back soon. Is your child going to like this? Probably not. Is it good for both of you? Absolutely. It means you don't sacrifice your basic needs to meet every child preference. You eat meals sitting down, even if your toddler wants you to play. You finish your coffee while it's hot. You take the shower you need. You're modeling that adults have needs that deserve to be met, and you're maintaining the reserves you need to parent effectively. It means you cultivate identity outside of parenthood. You maintain friendships. You pursue interests. You invest in your relationship with your partner. Your children need you to be a whole person, not a depleted shell of yourself who has martyred everything for their sake. And here's what's beautiful about this. When you take care of yourself, when you maintain boundaries around your own needs, you actually become a better, gentle parent. You have more patience because you're not running on empty. You can be more present because you've had breaks. You can regulate your children's emotions because you've regulated your own. The third hidden danger of gentle parenting is creating anxious children by trying to prevent all discomfort and disappointment. This is perhaps the most counterintuitive danger because it seems like we're doing something good, protecting our children from difficult emotions. Here's what this looks like. Your child is frustrated with a puzzle. Before they even ask, you jump in to help because you don't want them to feel frustrated. Your child is disappointed they can't have a play date. You immediately start problem solving and distracting to make the disappointment go away. Your child is nervous about trying something new. You reassure excessively and remove the challenge entirely. The intention is loving. We don't want our children to suffer, but here's the unintended consequence. Children never learn that they can handle difficult emotions. They never develop distress tolerance. They learn that uncomfortable feelings are emergencies that need to be immediately fixed by someone else. This creates children who fall apart at the slightest frustration because they've never built the muscle of working through discomfort. It creates children who are anxious because they've learned that difficult feelings are dangerous and unbearable. It creates children who are dependent on external regulation because they've never developed internal regulation skills. Gentle parenting is supposed to involve co-regulation, being present with children while they experience difficult emotions, helping them learn to manage those feelings. But somewhere along the way, it became emotional rescue, immediately eliminating all discomfort rather than supporting children through it. The research on resilience is clear. Children need to experience manageable challenges and work through difficult emotions with support. That's how they build confidence, capability, and emotional regulation. When we constantly rescue them from discomfort, we're actually undermining their development. So what does healthy, gentle parenting look like when your child is experiencing difficult emotions? It means you're present with their feelings without immediately fixing them. Your child is frustrated with the puzzle. You say, "That's a tricky one. Frustration is hard. I believe you can figure it out. I'm here if you need help." You're acknowledging the feeling, expressing confidence in their ability, and remaining available, but you're not removing the challenge or solving it for them. Your child is disappointed about the canceled playdate. Instead of immediately distracting or fixing, you sit with them in the disappointment. "I know you were really looking forward to that. It's okay to feel sad about it. Disappointment is hard. Let's sit together for a bit." You're teaching them that difficult feelings are normal, temporary, and survivable. Your child is nervous about the first day of school. Instead of excessive reassurance that paradoxically increases anxiety, you normalize the feeling. It makes sense to feel nervous about something new. Your body is trying to keep you safe. Lots of kids feel this way on the first day. You can handle hard things even when you feel nervous. Notice what you're doing, validating the emotion, staying present, expressing confidence in their capacity, and allowing them to experience the feeling rather than immediately making it go away. This builds emotional resilience, the understanding that all feelings are okay, that difficult emotions pass, and that they have the internal resources to handle discomfort. This is radically different from emotional rescue, where the parent's own discomfort with the child's distress drives them to immediately eliminate the feeling. That's actually about the parent's regulation, not the child's development. When you can tolerate your child's discomfort without needing to fix it immediately, You give them space to develop their own coping skills. Now let me tie these three dangers together because they're interconnected. When you practice gentle parenting without boundaries, erase yourself in martyrdom, and constantly rescue your child from discomfort, you create a perfect storm: depleted parents, anxious children, and a family dynamic where everyone is struggling despite the parents' best intentions. But here's the good news. You can practice genuine, gentle parenting that avoids these dangers. You can be respectful and kind while having clear boundaries. You can prioritize connection while also taking care of yourself. You can validate feelings while allowing your child to experience appropriate challenges. This version of gentle parenting is sustainable. It doesn't require you to be a perfect, endlessly patient saint. It doesn't demand that you sacrifice everything for your children. It doesn't mean protecting your children from every difficult emotion. It's collaborative, it's boundaried, and it actually works. Real gentle parenting looks like this: clear limits delivered kindly, self-care that models healthy boundaries, supporting children through difficult emotions rather than eliminating them, repair when you mess up, connection and structure existing together. Parents who are calm not because they're suppressing their needs, but because they're actually meeting them. So let's talk about what you do differently starting today if you recognize yourself in any of these three dangers. Because awareness without action doesn't change anything. And I want you to actually experience the relief of gentle parenting that works. First, if you're struggling with the boundary danger, if everything in your home is negotiable and you're exhausted from constant pushing, it's time to establish non-negotiable boundaries and hold them calmly and consistently. Sit down and identify your family's core boundaries. These are the rules that exist for safety, respect, and family functioning that are not up for discussion or negotiation. Maybe it's, we don't hurt others physically. Bedtime is 8 p.m. Car seats are non-negotiable. We speak respectfully to each other. Screen time limits are firm. Whatever your core boundaries are, write them down. Then communicate them clearly to your children. In our family, we boundary. This is not something we negotiate. I'll help you follow this rule, and I know you can do it. Then, and this is crucial, follow through every single time without wavering. Your child hits, you calmly remove them from the situation immediately. We don't hit. I'm moving you away from your brother. No long explanation, no negotiation, just calm, immediate follow-through. Bedtime arrives, it's bedtime. I'm turning off the light now. I love you. They protest, you empathize briefly. I know you want more time, and hold the boundary without reopening negotiation. This will feel uncomfortable at first, especially if you've been practicing gentle parenting without boundaries. Your child will test harder initially because they're used to wearing you down. Stay consistent. Within a week or two, you'll notice the testing decreases because they've learned the boundaries are real and they can actually relax into that security. Second, if you're struggling with the erasing yourself danger, if you're depleted, resentful, and have lost yourself in constant child-centered caregiving, it's time to reclaim your personhood and model that your needs matter too. This starts with identifying one non-negotiable way you'll care for yourself daily. Not if I have time, not when the kids are asleep and I'm not too tired. A planned, protected time that happens every day. Maybe it's 20 minutes of movement, a morning coffee you drink in peace before the kids wake up, an evening bath after they're in bed, a weekly meeting with friends. Whatever it is, protect it fiercely. This is mommy's exercise time. You can play independently for these 20 minutes, and then I'll be available. They don't like it? That's okay. Your needs still matter. Start saying no to things that deplete you without adding real value. No to every playdate request. No to elaborate birthday parties that exhaust you. No to volunteer commitments you can't sustain. No to standards of parenthood that are drowning you. Gentle parenting doesn't require you to say yes to everything. It requires you to be present and connected during the time you are with your children, which is only possible if you're not chronically depleted. Communicate your needs clearly and without guilt. I need quiet for the next 10 minutes is a complete sentence. You don't need to explain, justify, or feel guilty. You're modeling that all people have needs that deserve respect. And you're maintaining the emotional reserves you need to be the parent you want to be. Third, if you're struggling with the creating anxious children danger, if you find yourself constantly rescuing your child from discomfort, fixing every problem, removing every challenge, it's time to practice being present with their struggles without immediately solving them. This requires managing your own discomfort with their discomfort first. Next time your child is frustrated, disappointed, or struggling, notice your impulse to immediately fix it. Pause, take a breath. Remind yourself, my child is building important skills right now. They need to know they can handle hard things. Then say something like, "This is hard. I can see you're frustrated. I believe you can figure this out. I'm here if you need me." Sit with them in their disappointment without immediately distracting or problem solving. Let them feel sad about the canceled playdate. Let them work through frustration with a difficult task. Let them experience nervousness about new situations while you remain calm and confident. Your regulated presence teaches them that difficult feelings aren't emergencies, they're just part of being human. Resist the urge to offer excessive reassurance, which ironically increases anxiety. When your child says they're nervous about something, instead of, "Don't worry, it'll be fine, there's nothing to be scared of," which invalidates their feeling and communicates that the feeling is wrong, try, "It's okay to feel nervous. Your body is just trying to help. You can do hard things even when you feel nervous." This normalizes the emotion and builds their confidence in their capacity to handle discomfort. Let natural consequences teach when it's safe to do so. They refuse to wear a coat? Let them be cold briefly and learn that coats serve a purpose. They won't eat breakfast? They'll be hungry and learn about the consequences of skipping meals. Obviously, this applies only to safe, age-appropriate situations, but many parents rescue their children from every natural consequence, which prevents valuable learning. Now, let me address something important. You're probably wondering if you can implement all of this without being harsh, without damaging your connection, without becoming the authoritarian parent you never wanted to be. The answer is absolutely yes, because none of what I've described is harsh or disrespectful. Setting clear boundaries kindly is not harsh. Taking care of yourself is not selfish. Allowing your child to experience appropriate challenges is not neglectful. These are actually essential components of healthy parenting that got lost in the social media version of gentle parenting that prioritizes appearing gentle over actually being effective. Your relationship with your child is strong enough to handle you having boundaries, having needs, and allowing them to work through challenges. In fact, your relationship will be stronger because of it. Children feel more secure with parents who are confident leaders, who take care of themselves, and who believe in their child's capacity to handle difficulty. Here's what I want you to remember. Gentle parenting is not supposed to be gentle on the parent. It's supposed to be respectful to the child while maintaining healthy family dynamics. The three dangers we've discussed, no boundaries, erasing yourself, preventing all discomfort, aren't actually gentle parenting. They're distortions that have made gentle parenting unsustainable. When you practice gentle parenting correctly, with clear boundaries delivered kindly, with self-care that allows you to show up regulated, with support for your children through challenges rather than rescue from them, you'll find that it actually works. You'll have children who are secure, capable, and cooperative. You'll have family dynamics that feel calm and connected, and you'll have the energy to sustain this approach because you're not sacrificing yourself in the process. So today, choose one area where you'll start implementing these corrections. Maybe it's establishing one firm boundary. Maybe it's protecting one self-care practice. Maybe it's allowing your child to struggle with something without immediately fixing it. Start there. Practice consistency. Notice the difference it makes over the next few weeks. Gentle parenting isn't failing you, it's been distorted. But now that you understand the hidden dangers and how to avoid them, you can practice the version that actually works. Your family deserves that. You deserve that.